This video contains mention of suicide and self-harm. So I wanted to put a trigger warning up here first and foremost. So if you think you may be triggered by watching this video, please don't. I don't want to make anybody upset. It's not my intention. I just want to inform, educate. So turn me off, go look at some music videos or something. But if you're cool with it, thank you for joining me, and here we go. I want to talk a little bit about borderline personality disorder. It's my most recent diagnosis, but it pretty much can explain away the majority of what I've been dealing with my entire life. Whereas just the depression and the anxiety didn't quite fit completely, whereas this fits. There are 9 criterion in the DSM-5, and out of those 9, you have to fit 5, at least 5 of those, to be diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. I kind of sort of tick off about 8 of those, not all at once, kind of cycle, but very, I'm still considered high functioning though, that's the thing. It's crazy. Okay, so the first on the list is you frantically avoid real or imagined abandonment. And we will do whatever it takes to make sure that you don't leave us. Nothing you do or say, for the most part, will convince us that you aren't going anywhere. That is just, and we fear also being rejected, especially by what we would call our favorite person. So a lot of times it's your significant other or your best friend. In my case, it's always been a significant other. And we tend to be really clingy and just, glob on and be, don't leave me, please don't leave me, please don't leave me, Okay, so the second one is we have very unstable and intense, often fast-moving interpersonal relationships, especially in romantic ones. You meet somebody, you say you're in love with them really fast, you move in together, then all of a sudden you're engaged, and then you get married, within a very short time span. I've kind of sort of been there, done that. But at the same time, you also have this thing where we will idealize and devalue this person that we're in this relationship with, whereas it's I hate you if they do something just to piss us off a little bit, or no, I love you, it's I hate you, I love you. It's that, like that Halsey song, I hate you, I love you. Yeah. Identity disturbances, have you ever been sitting there and felt like you don't really know who you are? You don't really have any hobbies. You might have what you think are friends, but we're called like chameleons. We tend to basically morph into who we hang out with. So, for instance, I had an ex who was really into dirt bikes. I love dirt bikes. And then he got really into going to the gun range. Oh, I love that too. Next person I was with, oh, I really love Insane Clown Posse. Oh, me too. We don't know who we are. I don't know who I am. It causes issues. Well, the next one is a little touchy. impulsivity in at least 2 different areas, such as spending too much money, abusing drugs, unsafe sex, reckless driving, binge eating, along those lines. Everything except for giving into self-harm impulses. That's a separate thing. So, once again, in my case, I'm not really gonna go into it, but I suffer from hypersexuality. So I'm a little bit reckless in that area. I also have had substance abuse issues and spending. Okay, so here's the one about the self-harm stuff, but it includes suicidal behaviors, gestures, threats, recurrently, not just once, and then, self-harm type behaviors. While I have not actually attempted, I have had the ideations. I still do sometimes. And the harming stuff. Most people will cut. It goes beyond that, though. There's other things that constitute self-harm. I'm not going to go into all that. I want to get past this, but yeah, that is number 5. Affective instability. Mood swings, basically. It's why a lot of us are misdiagnosed at first as having bipolar 1 or 2. Number 7 is the chronic feelings of emptiness. You just don't feel anything at all. That is one thing that I think I suffer with the most out of all of these. It's not just feeling depressed, it's feeling nothing, feeling empty, apathetic, don't care. Number 8, we've got inappropriate and intense anger, issues managing that anger, outbursts, physical fights. The last one is sometimes you will experience some paranoia or severe dissociation. It doesn't really say much about the paranoia, but I think it has a lot to do with the feeling paranoid, that people are leaving. At least that's how I interpret it, because that's how I feel. I don't have severe dissociation issues, but I do have enough to qualify. Basically where you don't feel real, nothing feels real, kind of like an out-of-body experience. It's a little hard to explain, so I'm not going to try. So I know I didn't really specify which one of these I have, because there's only one thing that I really don't have, and that would be the anger stuff. At least in my belief, I do get angry, but I have become pretty good at controlling it. Where I run into trouble is my anxiety will sometimes present as anger, out of fear. So that's why I don't consider myself to deal with the inappropriate and intense anger. However, I know people who do, and it can get scary. I mean, it can get physical, whether it's domestic abuse or, just property damage, It's hard. It is super misunderstood, and it's very hard to explain, and everybody experiences it differently. Everybody's an individual person, and so we all have different symptoms, different combinations of those 9 things. And the hardest part about it is so hard to treat. And a lot of therapists don't want to do it because it is hard. And there's basically no cure, and there's no medications for BPD. For some of the other symptoms that come along with it, sure. The only real type of therapy that is used is called dialectical behavior therapy, or DBT. And I've done it once, and it worked for a little while, and then things in my life changed, got extremely stressful. One of my worst fears came true. My husband left me, abandoned me. This was just a year ago, and I'm all smiley right now, but, it still hurts. I have since moved on, and as all of my relationships, it is a roller coaster. It's just how it's probably going to be with me for the rest of my life, and if you just learn how to control and rewire your brain a little. But obviously this is something that I care a lot about. I want people to understand this more. BPD is very complicated and very hard to deal with, not just for the person suffering from it, but from those around them too. It impacts everybody and everything in our lives. So to conclude, finally, we're just afraid, constantly terrified that you guys, the most important people in our lives, are going to leave us. That is probably the worst thing that we could imagine happening. Yet we do a lot of crazy stuff that pushes you away. So you're going to want to leave. Don't leave. Not unless we are truly abusive. Don't leave. Because while we feel these intense negative emotions, we also feel our positive emotions very deeply and intensely too. We love you so much. We do.